So this gentleman, the pride of Oak Lake, Manitoba, two-time Avco Cup winner in the WHA with the Houston Aeros. I basically believe one of the most underrated skaters of his generation at 6 feet, 175. Ted Taylor knew where the net was and wasn't scared to put it in. First came to major prominence in the 1960 season for the Brandon Wheat Kings. Now, Edward Ray Taylor, like I said, born February 25th, 1942, almost played in 600 Major League regular season games in the WHA and the NHL with Detroit, the Rangers, Minnesota, Vancouver, and Houston. Now, he made his professional debut in 1962 after a strong career with the Brandon Wheat Kings of the MJHL. Over 3 seasons, undrafted, of course. He was putting up good numbers. His last 2 seasons, he averaged 28 goals in a regular season and 5 goals in the playoffs. Now, he played with the Sudbury Wolves of EPHL in 63 and also the Baltimore Clippers, combining for 27 goals in 70 games that season. 64, he split time between Baltimore and the St. Paul Rangers of the CPHL, which was a New York affiliate, and he eventually made the big team in 65 with a cup of coffee over 4 games. Now, with the Clippers that year, he had 25 counters. 66, back with the Rangers for a cup of coffee at his first NHL point in 4 games, and had 21 goals with the Clippers. Now, 67, he found himself in the Detroit system. He played 2 games with Detroit in that campaign, and also nodded 20 goals in 69 games for the Pittsburgh Hornets, was Detroit's affiliate. Now, we knew with expansion that he would finally get a chance. But what's kind of bizarre here, ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't with the, the expansion 12. He did play with Minnesota in 68 with 8 points in 31 games. However, 69 and 70, he found himself with the Vancouver Canucks of the WHL, which were the precursor to the Vancouver Canucks of the NHL. And in 1971, he made the Canucks with 27 points in 56 games. 72, again, mostly a defensive forward, 22 points in 69 games. But when the WHA opened up, he became a legend, almost as popular as Gordie Howe and the Howe brothers in the Houston system. When he moved to the WHA, he played the last 6 years of his major league career there, and of course the 2 Avco Cup titles were a big part of his legacy. His first year with Houston, tremendous numbers, 76 points in 72 games and 4 points in 10 playoff contests. Now, 74 put up 44 points, hit the 20-goal mark again, 12 points in 14 games. 75, 53 points in 73 games, and 7 points in 11 playoff contests. 76, again, solid numbers, 41 points in 61 games, 4 points in the playoffs in 11 games. 77, 51 points in 78 games, 8 points in 11 playoff games. And again, his final year, again, very consistent. Injury plagued, unfortunately, 22 points in 54 games and 4 points in the playoffs. Now, he was the Turnbull Cup champion in 60 and 62 for, again, the Brandon Wheat Kings, a very, very significant totals, which eventually led him to be selected for the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame. Please check that out, that association, ladies and gentlemen. Some really, really tremendous athletes in the MHF. The stories of some of the players are tremendous, like Ted. Now, the Avco Cup championships, again, came in 74 and 75, where he was averaging, again, between 8 and 10 points in those playoff years. Now, the WHA totals have to be talked about. I'm going to tell you why here. In the regular season, he was more than significant. He put up 287 points. He spent a lot of time in the sin bin, too. He wasn't scared to take a penalty. He had 123 goals, 287 points in 420 games. But get this, ladies and gentlemen. In 63 playoff games, 18 goals, 21 assists for 39 points, which will equate to a 25 goal amount in a regular season. So as good as he was in a regular season, he was just as good in the playoffs. Unfortunately, he never played in the NHL playoffs while he skated in the big league. 23 goals and 58 points over 166 games. So a deserving member of the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame, Brandon Wheat Kings, again, he left a legacy there, 70 goals in a regular season, another 13 in the playoffs, in a team that basically was based on 2 things, hard work and offense. And with the Wheat Kings, again, he really, celebrate who he was. But we can't underestimate his dedication to the Vancouver Canucks program. When he first played with the Canucks in '61 in a call-up, he eventually showed back up in a system 8 years later, and he was a guy that built the Vancouver franchise. Very strange he never decided to play for the Blazers when he had moved. I always wondered about that. My dad had mentioned that, it would have been nice to see him, or even the Calgary Cowboys when the Cowboys were building their offense. But I think Taylor was happy in Houston, playing, with Howe, showing a lot of dedication to what Houston was trying to do for sports on the hockey realm. And like I said, Ted Taylor would deserve to be any Hockey Hall of Fame, including WHA. It's just too bad, like I said, that the NHL didn't really give him enough of a chance, because he was asked to play mostly on the defensive side, where he opened out as kind of a good second liner, or sometimes one of the key power play players with Houston's strong offense at that time. So that's a legend of Ted Taylor. Thanks for listening. Bye.